parking lot. Rode hard, giving what she got. When she was young, she was red hot, but she soon became the one that everybody forgot. All right.
Hey!
What's up, guys?
What's happening?
What are we doing?
It's Tuesday night. How do you think we're doing?
Blind Pigs, back at home again.
Allie's
For another
Ale
show.
House. Although, I feel like we used to come to Allie's Ale House and get put in the mansion, like the penthouse, and they kind of shoved us over to the one-bedroom apartment tonight. But
It's
okay.
It's a pretty good one-bedroom apartment. I mean, it's outside.
Yeah,
The day's nice.
We have a bobcat.
With a bobcat moving dirt.
It's sand, actually.
Well, dirt, sand. What's the difference? What is the classification?
I was
of
just
volleyball?
making the distinction since it's a volleyball court.
Ask the volleyball players.
Yeah, dirt volleyball doesn't sound as fun as sand volleyball.
It just has its own challenges.
Maybe
There's
fun to watch.
There's broken glass, cigarette butts.
It's
and whatever else.
hillbilly volleyball.
What about mud volleyball? Mud volleyball.
Well, that was
volleyball
fun.
could be good,
Ah,
yes.
We did
I
that
like that.
way years ago at Ball State University. We used to play mud volleyball.
Really?
I wasn't really thinking about watching you play mud volleyball.
I'm glad you went there because I was kind of thinking, no, wait a minute. I don't think we were talking about that.
I
but
know.
Hey, Brandon, who's talking on those microphones?
It's the squirrels, man. The dead
What's up?
squirrels.
I was going to say, what kind of squirrels?
Dead ones.
It's good to have you back, boys.
Thanks
Donnie,
for having
Jim,
us back.
good to have you.
Good to be here.
You guys are here. I think the last time you were here was when Squatro was coming out, right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
And is this Sixtro? We got a new album coming out again.
Squinto,
Right?
No, it's SQ1RL5. No, seriously, that's the name of the...
P79er
I call it squirrels, but it's spelled SQ1RL5 because it looks like a
So,
license
yeah.
plate.
So everybody
Sweet.
knows your password to your Gmail account now.
Correct. No, that's just still password one.
Oh, that password would piss me off.
It's Donnie's pin is 1 2 3 4.
SQ1.
Well, you guys have been busy. I know Donnie has, because Donnie, I know you were doing some stuff with Chris Birch too in the last year, right?
I play with Chris Birch pretty regularly these days.
Who doesn't?
Right. Well, he's a fun guy. So.
He is. He's great. He doesn't like
We
us
were at-
anymore. He's been
I
out
know.
for a while.
Well, he's busy. He's grinding.
He's got a show like 3 times a day, every night of the week. so-
Right.
last time we saw him was at Beer Brewery, the night we recorded there.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not this past time, but the time before that, he was there.
Yeah.
No, I think we saw him up here once before after that, but you were busy or something.
I
think you
I
weren't
do
here
have
that
this
night.
job thing.
Yeah.
It gets in my way sometimes.
Jobs.
Yeah, we have those too.
Yeah, I know. Always get in the way of my fun.
So
Yeah.
you guys didn't even have time to enjoy the last album because you guys went right back to work. It seems like. I mean,
We
it's
still
been-
have extras of the old one if you
You
if you'd
really?
like. We can still
Yeah.
pretend
Doesn't it
that
sell
we
out?
can enjoy that one still.
I think we'll be selling like a value pack at the CD release.
That was the
party.
goal, really, is a 4 or 5 album gift pack for everyone.
We could
That
probably
works.
do an infomercial at this point.
Yep.
Now, did you do anything different? Because at Squatcher, you guys had some guests. I know you had a guest guitarist on there. You had some other.
We actually don't have any guests on this album.
No, the biggest thing on this album is we do have finally live drums, which is probably
Yes.
the most exciting part of
Wow.
all of this. Up to this point, we've just not been able to do that, and we brought Rocky Rodriguez in, who's our main drummer, and brought them into Donnie's brand new studio, and did our best college try. I think it sounded pretty good, actually.
Yeah, not
I've
bad.
only heard a few songs. I love the ones I've heard. It's a lot different than the other stuff. I think it's. I heard. Was it?
Because there's drums.
No, the
Like you
music's
just
different.
said.
The music's different. I think it's a good album. Well, what I
No,
heard is really good, but I think even the writing and the music is all sounds
Well,
really
the
different to me.
the tracks I sent you, 3 of them I wrote, and then one of them was Jim's. Jim
Yeah, that
has
one
some
sucked,
more
but
that he
the other 3
wrote,
are
but I did a fair amount more writing on this album, so you kind of get a mix of.
Yeah, there's 11 tracks on this new
Jim and I,
album, and
so-
Donnie's done 6 of them, and I did 4, and we
Is that how many I
redid.
did?
I was gonna
Yeah.
say. I was gonna say there was just a random one somewhere.
And then there's one that I did. I redid one that we had done from our very first album that we don't talk about because it was that bad.
we got shows like that too.
Well, the music was good on that. There were a couple songs that were good on that one, but it was our first go at recording, and we don't really talk about that one. So I redid one that I really liked called Squirrel Tail. which is the fifth one that I did. But Donnie did the vast majority of the work on this one.
Ooh, nice.
That's why it's a lot more guitar heavy then, right?
Yeah.
'Cause it seems a lot more guitar
Yeah.
heavy. From
Is this where my solo goes? And also this solo, and a third solo in the same
Yeah.
song?
What? What? There's dead space? We
What?
can't have this.
No, Rocket came on board, I think. Wasn't it right after the last album came out, or was
It's
it right?
been. We just had our first year with Rocky. She
Okay.
she posted that on Facebook not too long ago that it had been a year, and I
Yeah,
can't believe it's
okay.
been. I mean, it's gone very fast. But she's been amazing.
And that's going to keep going then? You guys are all
Oh yeah.
all your live stuff and
For the foreseeable future.
yeah.
I
So
mean, we
she's in love
still
with it.
go when we go out. We still do, and we've been doing a little bit more like acoustic duos and things like that. But
Mhm.
it's still fun to play with a full band.
Well, yeah.
We just did Kips not too long ago, and you get to turn the music up and
Yeah.
and play just anything you want to. And
Yeah.
having Rocky back there, I mean, it's different every time. She's such a good dynamic drummer. Every song is unique for her, and it's fun to play. Just even live, it's not the same thing twice.
Well, I feel like the local market around here kind of ebbs and flows, and this year it seems to be there's a lot more opportunity for acoustic duo type stuff. So,
Mhm.
which is fine. I mean, we haven't done a lot of that in the last couple of years, really. So
Yeah.
it's nice to get back to that. It's still nice to play power trio shows.
Well, now you have that advantage to go, either way, which
Sure.
we all, enjoy that. So
Donnie goes either way.
That's with Jim.
So, are you guys noticing with, I've noticed a lot lately that a lot more bars, breweries, things like that are hiring more original artist musicians on purpose
Yeah.
to avoid the whole BMI fees and everything. So, are you guys getting to partake in some of that? Are you seeing some of that?
We haven't really ran across that. I mean, the venues we play at, they're okay with covers. We always do both.
Not to say that we can't. We
Right.
played here at Alley's for their Wednesday night,
Yeah.
featured artist thing, and we
Mhm.
played almost an hour. We've probably got a good 2 to 2.5 hours worth of
That-
original music. We
well,
have to
that-
practice a few of
that
those.
we're practiced on. Yeah. I mean, we could try to play the rest.
I think every album has songs that you probably rarely, if ever, play out.
Mhm.
But then, with the ones that we play out, we could easily fill, a couple hours.
right.
Do you guys
just
have to?
originals.
You have to pay the taxes and stuff, or does the bar have to
No,
if you're
that's on
playing
the
covers?
That's on the bar.
Oh, okay.
The bar has to pay BMI fees if they're
If the
playing
bands
covers.
play covers. Okay.
Correct.
But sometimes
Hey,
it doesn't
I mean,
even matter. You can
yeah.
play originals and they'll still send you a letter. So
But you can defend that because all you guys have to do is say we're the artists, and they have the right to let us play there because it's our music. We don't care. So
I just say, fuck you. Here's Jim's number.
I like that. Can I do that too, Jim?
And I say-
Is that okay?
And then I say, hello.
You'll be getting
Hello?
You'll be getting a lot of calls from a sporting goods company, but I'm going to use that myself at work.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, I just forward them on to me. Hello.
Perfect. Perfect. John, did you hear that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's give out his number on the air so everybody can use it.
867-5309.
I knew he'd go there. You can't reference a phone number on a show without somebody bringing that one back.
I don't get it.
terrible. You don't get it? It's okay. You're colorblind. No wonder. I know. I had nothing to do with it. All right. What are we doing? What else is going on?
We're sitting here having a podcast, but where the hell you been the last 20 minutes?
20 minutes. It's
Dealing
been
with all
long.
the equipment.
Sake. I know. I see some crap beer here tonight. Of course, we're outside tonight. We're not on stage tonight. And that's kind of special too, because what's going on stage is kind of cool.
It
you
is.
Might, you might hear a little bit of the background when you're hearing it. We got a little wind. We got a band in the background
School
for
of Rock.
School of Rock kids.
But it's cool to see these kids up on stage and somebody give them the platform to play,
Absolutely.
especially something like this. This is very cool.
I honestly, I wish I could have had an opportunity like this when I was younger. I
Oh,
wonder
I
if
thought you were going
would've-
to say, I wish I could be in there listening to them instead of out here.
Yeah, I wish I could
talking to you
totally
guys.
be not here.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. If you guys, did you guys do any of that young? Were you guys in bands at a younger age, or?
No, I
No.
wasn't.
Yeah, I did choir and show choir. I
Mhm.
mean, honestly, to meet girls, which
Well, yeah.
worked out really well.
Hey, the Bobcat guy is done. Should I go out there and run all over the place now?
yeah.
but
I feel like it's like putting it in the cement, putting your
Right.
fingers in the cement.
sorry.
You missed a spot.
But I learned to play guitar, when I was probably 16, 17 years old, just so I could accompany myself to try out for musicals. And then I met my wife, and I stopped playing forever. I think we've told that story before, but boy, to see this, I teach, as you guys know,
Mm-hmm.
and I just started hosting a guitar club, and it's just a bunch of
Oh, really?
kids that get together on Wednesdays after school, and they just jam out in my classroom, and it's awesome.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
it's messy and it's
Fun.
They never finish a song. They just play riffs all the time,
They only know the chorus.
and they're
it's kinda-
gloriously geeky. It's amazing, and it's like that's what it's all about. Just playing and riffing and having fun with friends, and to see this with School of Rock is great.
So
Yeah.
it's like our rehearsal.
Yeah, a little bit like Donnie just hits riffs. So like, can we do something with this? I don't know.
That's I say that
What,
too. If
what
you
key are you in?
Where's my solo?
if you see a group of kids out playing, I'm amazed that they have, enough guts to get up on stage. That's awesome that they have that at a young age, and to be able to perform in front of people. If they're not quite there, if the sound's a little off, if their voice is a little off, you can work on all that. But the fact they have the courage to get up there and sing in front of everybody and perform in front of everybody is awesome. It's
So-
amazing.
So much of this is just.
I mean, you can work on that stuff, or you can just be like me and say, fuck it.
so much of that is comfort level and,
Yeah.
and stage presence. Just
Yeah.
you feel good up there. You can communicate with your audience, and the more you do it, the better you get.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool too. And, something like School of Rock does a good job, and Sam Ash has the Ash Rock program, which is amazing. It's not like just getting in your garage as a kid and getting a couple of guys together. These guys, some people developing their their talents. So it's very cool to see that. There's not a lot of places that have that opportunity to do
Yeah.
that. So
Well, it gives them a direction. It gives them
Yeah.
a goal. They know they're going to come up on the stage and play a full song, so they know they've got to practice and they know they've got to be ready because they're going to have a crowd. I mean, they got a nice crowd in there tonight.
Well, I think
Yeah.
I think Sam Ash has done a really nice job of being involved in their community.
yeah,
So.
oh yeah,
Yeah, this is helping them get over stage fright too. With that big of a crowd, if I was that age and up there singing and no one, all lights are on me and there's that big of a crowd, that's a lot of pressure.
Yep.
For someone that age
I'm
until
just-
they get used to it.
I'm just surprised none of them are up there with a Guitar Hero for. that's how you
Where's the
normally see the
orange
kids play.
button?
Oh, look, he's doing orange, green, blue.
He must play on the difficult.
I don't know how. I've seen kids like wail on those things, and I have no idea how to do it.
Yeah, I was going to ask. How do musicians fare? How do guitar players fare on Guitar Hero?
I can attest to this.
Yeah,
Not well.
Not well.
no, really.
My wife was
I
an
just
amazing
look at it.
rock
I'm
band
like,
drummer.
where
by
are
the
the
way.
strings?
I would think drumming would be probably a little easier than because
Yeah.
there's the guitar. There's no strings. It's literally you're just buttons
Yeah.
and a,
Now,
and
do
a
they
little
have
whammy
software
bar.
that actually teaches you how to play guitar? Like,
Oh,
can
yeah.
you do
Yeah.
like
Yeah, in fact,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a company called Fretlight that makes a guitar that actually has LEDs in the
Mhm.
fretboard,
really?
and it will like show you how to play.
That's amazing because I have no
Oh,
idea how
that's
to play guitar. It would be great to finally learn.
it'd help
Don't
out
you
with
think,
those
Donnie?
acoustic nights. Yeah,
I
It
think
would
you
make it
could,
so much better.
I think
I think we would look so professional if you had a Fretlight guitar on stage.
think how cool that would look from the stage, though. Lights, make them super bright.
done with,
I think
he's done with the song. He
I
picks
think
the
we've
guitar
got
up.
enough lights.
If you guys are gonna go with that guitar, I'll get you guys one of those karaoke mics that has like the flashing red light on it and stuff,
Yes.
little strobes around it.
You just
We can go all out for
You
this.
slam it down at the end of the song. Plastic just flies everywhere.
Yes.
I mean, I don't even know why bother with that. Well, let's just get him a Garth Brooks mic and a hat.
Also yes. These are all good plans.
So we have a beer in front of us. We are a beer show. We got to try some beer tonight.
tasty.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so we might have had this one before, but I don't know.
I
We
don't believe so.
I don't think so.
This is we're trying another couple from up north area. I believe this is a Michigan beer, right? I see a Michigan map there, or is that Wisconsin?
Does it make
I
a
don't
No,
know.
that's
Who-
Wisconsin.
Who is it?
I don't know.
It looks like
no, just
Wisconsin.
kidding. Angry Molly's Imperial Stout by
From
Big Bay Brewing.
in
That's got to be Wisconsin.
I would say
Yeah.
that's probably what. Yeah, that's probably what's
that,
it
that looks like the state of Wisconsin.
Okay, I don't
Michigan
know.
makes a
Oh yeah,
mitten.
that's the hand thing, right? Okay,
Yeah, that-
so yeah, so
Holy
well, it didn't
shit.
exactly
Well,
say.
I didn't know I was going to get a geography
Oh
lesson.
yeah, there it is. Sorry, Madison. It is Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison?
Sorry, this is
Oh,
one of
very
those.
nice town. Yes.
This is one of the batch of beers that my boss sent me because my company is based up in Madison, Wisconsin, and he sent me all of a sudden I got after my Christmas bonus I got a big box of beer from him. It was very nice. So We've been rolling through these every few weeks. So
Was the beer in bottles or was it in the box?
in the bottles,
Just floating around in there.
duct tape cooler.
leaking through. Drink it fast.
I heard they were doing this box of beer thing, like the beer, like the wine.
Oh, like box wine?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I don't know who, and it's a craft brew, and I don't know. I just read something quick about it, and we'll have to look more into that. But yeah, I heard somebody's going to do
Well, I
a.
mean,
Yeah.
as
Bottle
long as
beer.
the beer is good, it's all about putting it in the right container and
Yeah.
keep. But I don't know how you keep that sealed up real well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they do it with
Pressurized
wine,
but-
so
Yeah.
Right, but wine's not carbonated,
Mm-hmm.
so you run into a bit of an issue there.
True.
So, all right.
there's
so,
not box champagne. Is
Yeah.
it not a thing?
ooh,
I
really?
don't think so.
Is this barrel aged?
It does not say no. It's Angry Molly Imperial Stout small batch beers. That's all I got. We'd have to look it up.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It is good. I almost
like
getting
it.
Some, I get a little cherry out of that. That's what I'm getting.
That's
Oh,
because you're
definitely,
drinking
yeah.
Cherry Picker.
I always
Oh
get
yeah.
No,
I
no, no.
always
I'm
get a
getting that
coffee
out of
flavor
here.
out of stouts. I always get a
You
coffee.
just can't help it.
Yeah.
Definitely
you-
some coffee.
Well, you should.
I get a hint
yeah,
of the cherry
hopefully
too.
get a little coffee out of a stout usually.
I don't
yeah.
taste the cherry. I get some coffee. I get some dark chocolate out of this, like
Oh,
dark,
yeah, dark
like
chocolate.
It's
That's
like
a
a
good one.
chocolate covered cherry.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
we
get the
can-
cherry
It's like
though.
a dark
I don't get the cherry, but the dark
chocolate
chocolate.
The
yeah.
dark, super dark chocolate, a little bit of bitter to it, and the coffee is definitely in there. But I almost get a hint of bourbon out of this, like an
Yep.
oaken bourbon out of it.
When I smelled it, I could smell like a bourbon.
That's why I asked if it was barrel aged. I feel like it maybe sat in a bourbon barrel for not long, maybe
You
a couple months.
You get a little bit
Like
in the
10
back
minutes.
end. You get a little bourbon.
Yeah, a little cocoa. No, nothing shows. A little cocoa, a little vanilla on it.
Got the cocoa.
Don't forget that cocoa. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's almost always there.
yeah.
But I'm looking it up. I'm not seeing. I'm trying to find some more of what it is. So, the Russian, just commercial description. The Russians tango with the Irish in this hybrid imperial stout. Brew and name take inspiration from a certain feisty lass, at once sweet with deep bitter complexity. You'll find notes of chocolate, coffee, caramel, white wheat, and flaked oat.
tastes just
We're
like a
crazy.
Russian.
Yeah, I get it.
So
Yeah.
we have two guests on the show, just so you guys know. They're silent guests tonight for some reason. They have a mic, they don't want to turn it on. So we have Dennis and John. Did you guys like the beer? Yes? Yeah. Dennis?
They say yes.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, they're saying yes.
It's good.
I don't care if they said no. They say yes.
I'm speaking for them, so if we're their voice, we can say what the hell we want.
So who's this brewery?
They said it was the
What?
most delicious beer they have ever tasted in their entire lives.
They're still
Big
talking. They're still talking about it right now.
Big Bay Brewing.
Big Bay. All right. Well,
Big Bay
tell
out of
your
Madison,
boss,
Wisconsin.
Tell
Wisconsin.
your boss to send more Big Bay stuff.
I can do that.
That was good.
Haven't
I
put
like
it in bottles though, because I don't know.
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that
yeah,
box. I don't think
yeah.
that travels well.
The just box of liquid.
Box of beer.
like picking out of your pocket.
Wait, Pat, did he ship that to you?
No, he did not. I got that and brought it myself.
I'm just curious. Was it shipped to you? Okay, see, that's what I thought. Pat here, because I joined a Facebook group where I can get a hold of somebody in California and say, hey, I'll switch you some of your brews for my craft brews.
Really? You're
and
going back to that one?
we'll do it. And he's like, dude, that's illegal.
Well,
I'm
it
like,
is.
are you shitting me right now?
It is. I'm
I'm
surprised.
pretty sure the
I don't wanna
U.S.
get my-
Postman is not going to show up at my house with a gun and shoot me for
I
freaking-
figured they'd have caught it when
you
they
know.
were shipping it. So there are some weirdness. There are some
They're
weird
on their
laws
way.
about
Wow.
shipping. There are some weird laws about shipping.
No doubt.
I can get ammunition mailed to my house. What's the problem?
Well, because you have to check that box that says no liquids.
Well, as long as you don't have a gun, you can just. What are you going to throw the ammunition at people?
I would
in your
assume
dildo.
that anybody that buys ammunition has a gun to put it in.
Maybe
Donnie,
not.
I don't-
I'm just
Hey, maybe
collecting.
some people just think bullets are
But
really
you are,
cool. I don't
you
know.
are absolutely right about those rules of beer, though. Like Yingling just came to
Right.
Indiana.
Mhm.
Why has it been so long?
They
to-
waited too
to
long,
get
I
here?
think.
Well, that was theirs and not working with trying to get their distributorship and the laws and stuff. But it's a matter of personal people shipping alcohol, or there are some legalities to it, but they're vague. And I would have thought that the Postal Service would have noticed the box and X-rayed it and
Well, they
realized
probably
liquid
wouldn't have
in
because
box.
it was in a box.
Well, but there was 6 glass
puts
bottles
beer
in
in
a
a
box.
I can sum up what's happened here. The government got involved.
the
I
X-ray,
can ship anything now.
the X-ray guy was on a break. He
He
didn't.
probably was, yeah.
He didn't care.
Well, it's
So-
weird, but
Have
yeah.
you seen anybody at the post office? Do any of them care?
No. Not in the lead. They're owned by Amazon now, right? Because that's the only thing I pretty much get in the mail these days.
I
Right.
feel like if you just gave them one of the beers, then they'd just let you take whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
oh,
works.
yeah.
Maybe
I-
my boss sent 2
for my-
boxes
for my
and said
post
one
office
for my
homies.
buddy. And
I have a feeling there's postmen that do that. They open it up and go, "Ooh, well, I'll just take one of those," and somehow you only got 3. Sorry,
It's like a tithing.
postmaster error.
That's where you get the boxes damaged. Whoops, our bad.
Yeah, have you guys ever got a package like 3 months later that has a big sign from the postmaster on it? I apologize. This got blah blah blah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
really? Thanks for sending it to me 3 months later, completely
It's like
destroyed.
it's like a magazine that's like torn in half, and they've wrapped it in 16 pounds of bubble wrap
Exactly.
and duct tape, and then the note on the top.
There was an old comedian. He used to do a little bit on that, but I can't remember his name. But he had a real dry kind of delivery. He always seemed like he was high, but he used to make
Stephen
it.
Wright?
No, not Stephen. It was a younger
Carlin?
kid. It was a younger kid, blonde. He's
was,
dead
was
now.
it younger Stephen Wright?
No.
No?
When has anybody ever actually seen a younger Stephen Wright? He's been the same age for 40 years. 60.
Mitch Hedberg.
Yes.
Mitch
Mitch Hedberg would do a thing. It's like, I love the fact that the FedEx guy doesn't know he's a drug dealer.
And they always tell you never write "do not bend" or anything on your
Yeah.
shit because that's the first thing they're gonna do if they see that. Crank.
Screw you guys. Never write fragile.
Yeah.
Oops.
Gone.
Fragile, it's Italian.
Yeah, Christmas reference.
Hey, look at
April.
that.
So I
Christmas story.
understand that Blind Pig is coming out with their own beer. Is that correct?
It's out, baby.
It's out.
Done
It's
come
out.
out.
All right.
It's
We got,
on tap at Redemption Ale Works, and hopefully we're going to work something out here and hopefully try to get on
All
tap
right,
here
good.
soon. Yep.
Yeah, we got our first article written about us.
We have
too.
an article written about us in
Nouveau.
Nouveau by Rita Cohn.
Nice.
Yeah, Rita Khan.
What is the name of your beer?
Whatever.
Suey.
Suey
Saison.
Saison.
Suey
Yeah.
Saison.
It's over at Redemption, pretty good. A
Yeah.
little
Yeah,
peppercorn,
came out well.
peppercorn and
So
coriander finish on it.
Did you guys have entire artistic freedom in how this?
Hell no.
What
No,
went
just
into this?
So what happened was we brewed it at home, and we were taking the
Okay.
samples up to Dan. Dan tasted it. He came to me one day, and he said, "Hey, man, I'd like to put it on tap." And we said, "Okay." He's like, "I'll have to make a couple changes because
Yeah.
production brewing is way different than home brewing."
Right.
So Dan took it. He did mine. I mean, it wasn't major changes, and then he added a little peppercorn to it to kind of clean the finish.
And the only real main
that's-
changes were probably what he gets from his
distributor
grain bill
standpoint,
from a
yeah.
distributor, brand, which can tweak the flavor a little bit.
A little bit, but not much.
The core recipe was
The
ours.
core recipe was ours. It was
So-
a little darker than he wanted it to be, so he went from a 20 lumen to a 10 lumen as far as the
As you'll
grain
do.
goes.
As you'll do.
because these guys.
So it just lightens it up. Sorry. So you can get grains in different darknesses. All it does is change the color. So he just lightened it up a little bit. So just little tweaks
I
like
thought
that.
maybe you were hitting it with sunlight or something.
I mean, it's like
And also 10 minutes in a bourbon barrel. Just 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
I sounded completely like a
Exactly.
beer nerd there, didn't I?
10 minutes and
Yeah.
1 second, it's gone.
10 minutes.
So
They
anyways.
actually don't even put it in. They just put it near the bourbon barrel for 10 minutes.
So your recipe, Redemption Ale Works, is
Yes.
brewing it for you. Nice.
and they're
It's
gonna.
not. They can't replicate it. It's awful. It's they made one batch. There's no way. Nobody wrote it down.
So there's the 12. Well, he brewed 12 kegs of it. So
got
one.
some-
There actually brewed 13 kegs. There's one keg souring over there for us to sample it out. And
How's it
see how-
selling?
Huh? As we hear, pretty good.
It's pretty good. If you go on Untapped, you can read the reviews on it. We're right around a 4 on reviews, which is pretty
of
good.
five.
Out of
Yeah.
like 107?
Out of-
Out of
Yeah,
5.
100, yeah.
All right.
I think we're like a
4 out of 5 is
3.8.
pretty good. 4 out of 107, not
4 out
so
of
good.
107
So
is awful.
I do read these, and the worst score we got on there was a 2.5, right?
Okay.
And it says really good beer, just not my style. 2.5 stars.
well,
And I'm like, are you shitting me?
Then don't even evaluate it.
Yeah, just say
Well, then don't say really good beer. I mean, you could have said I hate this. I'd give it a 2.5,
Right.
and I would have been like, it's cool.
or not rate
But don't
it.
tell me it's a really good beer, and then give me a 2.5 stars.
It'd be like me doing reviews on bass guitars. I don't know. Seems like it plays notes. Yep.
So that was the lowest review we had on there, and I was like, really? I was like, who is this guy? I want to find him.
He's
I
an
wanna look him
attractive
up.
guy, but I'm just not into dudes.
God, how many times have I said that to you, Jen?
Wow.
It all depends on what time of night and how many beers, huh?
True.
So we just wrote up a new recipe. We're gonna be trying to brew that next week. Actually, it's gonna be we're trying to get a prohibition ale down because anti-prohibition podcast. We really want to go with the prohibition ale, and then we can branch that out into different things. Like we really want to eventually do a hot pepper beer, either a dark hot
Hey,
pepper or
beer
a light hot
nerd.
pepper, something.
Hey, beer nerd, he has a
I
question.
have a
Yes.
question. So I hear people talking about prohibitions. I honestly don't know what that means. What is pre-prohibition?
It's what beer tasted like during Prohibition.
But what
before-
makes it-
before Prohibition.
But what
Right.
makes it what it is?
Back then, it's the kind of hops you use because it was a very limited amount of hops back then. The boom of different styles of hops didn't really happen until after Prohibition occurred.
Wow.
So,
okay.
and most of the recipes back then, believe it or not, included flaked corn.
Lights went out too.
So most recipes before Prohibition had corn in all the beer recipes.
So the pre-prohibition beers have corn in them.
They do.
Okay.
Now, some of your major breweries do too. Miller uses corn. Budweiser uses rice. So a lot of them are brewing that kind of style too, just in a much lighter form than what they did before
How does it
Prohibition.
affect the taste?
It's going to make it a little bit sweeter. So you got to be really cautious about how much corn you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to put a lot more starch into it, and it's going to pull a lot more sugar flavor into the beer.
It's like moonshine.
So you only want to use no more than 20% of the grain bill to be corn, or it's going to be really syrupy like a Miller Lite or a Budweiser or something like that. We don't want that. So we pulled that back to, I think we did 15%, I think is what we did in that grain bill to pull that back a little bit.
How many lumens in that?
I actually
7?
I actually went with the 20 lumens on that
20
particular
lumens?
recipe. I seem
So
to always
7
gear
is not
towards
a
that.
lumen?
I saw a flashlight on Amazon. It's got 1,000 lumens. Wait,
I went with
See, that's or a million wattage light. Have you seen those? A million?
how many megahertz?
I went with the 6-row barley and the 20 lumen caramel malt. Is
How
what
ma-
we
how many
went
Well,
for.
that was a good choice.
how many
Thank you.
how many megahertz are in our beer? And
7.
about a gigawatt.
Wow.
I need a watt.
a jig of who?
7 megawatts.
That was a good answer, though. I
Thank you.
honestly had no idea. I learned so much about beer when I.
But enough about you guys. Let's talk about us.
Hell yeah, let's go back to the squirrels.
Who also like beer.
Yeah, we do like
I just like
beer,
drinking
so we
beer.
can
I
just
don't think
talk
about the
beer.
lumens
That's
in beer.
cool.
But you guys are sponsored by a beer, aren't you?
We are.
We are sponsored by PBR.
That's acceptable.
See,
It is
that's-
acceptable.
That's pretty impressive in itself, right there.
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
delicious Pabst Blue. I'm drinking a Pabst Blue Ribbon right now.
I was.
Yes, you were. But yes, we've enjoyed that sponsorship now for almost a couple of years now.
Wow, nice.
So,
Yeah.
Which is a pre-prohibition recipe, by the way.
There is.
There you
And
go.
Is it?
I will be. My wife does not drink very many beers, and PBR is one that she does enjoy. So
Again, most of that stuff back then. Again, there weren't hop heads back then. Hop wasn't the profiles then. It was
No.
so they're maltier and you get a little bit of sweeter beers than you do now. So
When I started doing the research, there was like 3 hops, like
Yeah.
literally like 3 kinds of
Yeah.
hops you could get
and,
back then.
and only left
Yeah.
for like 2 minutes.
well, I get up. I don't understand that push for more and more hops. I don't like a hoppy
well,
beer.
thankfully
And-
it's dying out.
yeah.
So,
little
I
bit,
mean,
yeah.
it is.
Now, out of curiosity, where do you source your hops and?
Great fermentations
Okay.
on 65th Street in Benford.
You
Okay,
got it.
so. And I'm assuming they is this stuff that can be grown here in Indiana?
Hops
or-
can. It's a little hard.
There's a couple of local hop
There are,
farms in Indiana, and when the big deal a few years ago with the hop shortage came around, and Budweiser was buying up with the hop farms or giving them incentives or whatever,
Those
the
bastards.
craft brewers got smart and started reaching out to farmers who started growing hops on their land. So now craft brewers are reaching out to local farmers to grow their hops. In turn, a lot of the breweries will give their spent grains to those farmers for feed for their animals. So
Nice.
Yeah.
it's very local, it's great. It's great for everybody.
Giving back to the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they share.
And,
we'll
and
give
no
you
waste.
feed, you
Well,
grow us hops. It's
no
great.
waste, right?
Right.
Every time
redemption.
every time I drink a beer, I feel like I'm giving back to the community.
Well, we know
You're
exactly.
welcome, community.
And
I
what's,
give back to the water supply after every other
you
beer.
are so welcome.
and what's better than
well-
grilling up some hops-fed meat and drinking some beer?
There you
That's
go.
right.
Yeah. Well, we know a couple restaurants that they grow their own, or not breweries. Redemption actually usually has some, depend on the season, up front.
They do.
Big Lug has their back wall on the system there as well. So
Yep.
a lot of them are, and they're just very small batch there, but they'll get their stuff, big volumes elsewhere.
Sure.
But
And Speaking of your PBR, they're still American owned, and they support the craft brew industry.
yeah.
So that's a big kudos to Pabst for what they're doing. They're not angry at the craft brew industry. They embrace
True.
it.
You know,
no,
whenever
they're making a smart business decision.
Right.
Absolutely.
whenever they acquire a craft brew company, they don't want them to change anything. The
Right.
reason they've acquired them is to allow those folks to continue to do what they've always done,
Right.
with the same ingredients, the same customers.
Basically,
expand out
PBR is just
production.
looking at it as a distributorship relationship.
They're
so-
happy to know that brand is part of their
And look
name.
what's happened. I mean, PBR has grown where the other guys have
Lord.
fallen
Absolutely.
because they've embraced the craft brewer industry.
Well, and to bring it
it's-
all around, I mean, and we've talked about this before, but the other thing that they do is they sponsor local things.
Right.
They don't do big NASCAR things and big,
Right.
corporate sponsorships. They look
Right.
at bands like the Dead Squirrels and they say, hey, we believe in what you're doing. We want to be part of that. And so they allow their distributors to do small sponsorships to let those groups
Right.
do the things that they do. So it's been a great partnership.
Yeah, and Pabst is, like I said, they're definitely part of the craft beer scene. They might be available across the United States, but they still have that craft beer feel. They're owned here in America. They do stuff for you guys. It's beautiful. I love Pabst Blue Ribbon and what they do.
I
Me
think that's
too.
one of the reasons they were embraced by even craft beer drinkers, is they still
Friendly.
respect Pabst because they haven't done what some of the other guys, Bud,
Right.
have done to try and discourage
Yeah.
that industry. So it makes
no
a difference.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Well,
out.
those other guys are bad hombres.
They are.
I was out in
They
St.
suck.
Louis
and they
a
give shitty beer.
couple weeks ago.
That's my only Trump. That's my only Trump.
Phrase.
They'll
Yeah.
edit,
The
they'll
bad
edit
hombre.
that out. I mean, it's fine.
They're a bit too bigly.
So
Yeah.
I was out in St. Louis a couple weeks ago. My wife made me walk into Budweiser. I said,
He
"You
did.
realize this is like an atheist walking into church, right? I'm going to get struck by lightning."
He had to take like 5 showers when he got back to the hotel.
I was worried. I'm like looking over my shoulder. I'm like, I hope they don't have my picture in the back somewhere because I talk shit about these guys a lot.
No, there's only a few places that have your picture. Post
that's true.
office.
Yeah, the post office for your distribution of beer.
Now when
Not
this-
happening.
Now, when this show goes out, we might have to bleep out a few things. And beep. Wait, what?
Redacted. The entire podcast has big bleeps over the top, like black lines.
Now your phone number on
It's
the
gonna
other
be like an
hand, I've seen
NWA
that in
song on the
men's
radio.
restrooms across.
Oh, it's on
the
bathroom
state,
walls
right.
across America. I love it. Gets me a lot of attention. Random guy showing up my door. Anyway,
What,
okay, sorry.
for-
Let's
what,
move on.
for your phone number for a good time? Wait, what?
Oh yeah, across America, all over the bathroom walls.
I hear you were available for a good time.
I read an article that some guy's ex got back at him that way, and she put him up on the website and put his number up there and all this stuff. And he had like 100 guys show up at his
Nice.
door looking for sex, and he was like, "What the hell?"
Wow.
I was like, "Wow, that's a pretty good burn."
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I mean, kudos to her. I don't know what he did to her, but man, he must have really pissed her off.
Yeah, yeah. That's a scorned woman there.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't take much, though.
Yeah,
True.
that's true.
It depends on the woman.
Yeah, with that being said, let's. I think we should take a break and get
Sounds
some
good.
beer. I see some empty beers on the table. So
Yes,
do.
you can't have that.
let's take 5.
All right.
What's the best way to make it through a long work week? Take a midweek break and join the fun every Wednesday night at Alley's Ale House in Fishers for Nico's Open Stage. Want to share your talent in front of a live audience? Whether it's breaking in some new material or jamming out to some favorites, Nico's Open Stage is the place to go for it. There's never a cover charge, and walk-ins are always welcome. Each week brings a featured artist and drink specials from Jack Daniels. Check out Nico's Open Stage on Facebook for more details. And come join the fun every Wednesday night at Alley's Ale House, home of the boys of Blind Pig Confessions.
Hi, this is Mel from Alley's Ale House. Come check us out for the best local and craft beer selection in Hamilton County and the most amazing craft food on the north side. We've always got something going on, whether it be poker, euchre, live music, or DJ bingo. You can check us out on Facebook or on our website at bulletpinheads.com.
Hi, this is Kelly from 18th Street Brewery, and you are listening to Blind Pig Confessions.
That could be the new secret. Maybe you
what?
make a brand new beer, just put it inside a cup that's been drunk out of.
You
There's
got
a
peanut
tiny
butter in my
taste.
chocolate. You got chocolate in my peanut butter.
You got stout in my
With just
in
a
my porter.
tiny taste of stout.
So, Brendan, did you feel like this album's a bit edgier?
I did, yeah. I mean, again, we're going back to the Squirrels album. I was going to ask you guys, is there anything different about how you guys recorded or wrote this album? Because I do find it edgier. I enjoyed it. I've got 4 songs right now that I downloaded, and I enjoyed all of them. And,
Legally?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Again,
I gave them to
we
him.
talked
Jim.
about BMI and ASCAP. It's fine. We
Right,
get
yeah,
permission.
sure.
It's fine.
No, but I liked. They were different. They're a little bit. The one song was it Cash Joe? What's the
Calabash Joe.
Calabash Joe is it's bluesy.
Yeah.
And it's got that nice deep guitarist, and I've enjoyed them, man. But it's different to me. It's
Yeah.
definitely different than anything you've done before. To me, it is, and I think they're a little bit edgier. And
Well, I think when you hear the full one, it'll probably round it out a little bit. I
Yeah,
think there's
it will.
still some like Rocky, who's our percussionist, always talks about like Donnie's far more rock and roll, and she says I'm a little more funk. So you get like with the songs that I write.
Which one of you is country?
It's definitely not Rocky.
Yeah. So, but I think that she likes that because it gives her a nice stretch to play
Yeah.
different kinds of things. But Donnie is
Yeah.
definitely more like in the rock and roll wheelhouse,
right.
Yeah.
And that's just influences. Donnie's more of a Foo Fighter,
Right.
Foo Fighters fan.
Mhm.
I've always liked Jason Mraz, Amos
Right.
Lee.
Yeah.
We both like blues, but we interpret it differently.
When that's why it works so well. I mean, you need that.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
get a band together and you say, okay, I'm only going to be a band with guys that like the same music I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How boring.
Well, you get yourself into a little box, and
Yeah.
like a beer box that you just can't get out of.
No,
Just don't ship it.
I think that at least on the more rockin' songs that I wrote, I infused a little bit more Foo Fighters. There's a lot of layered guitar work,
Mhm.
and so
The only funny thing about this album is that Donnie's got all of these great like tributes to love and
yeah.
his wife and family, and I mean Calabash Joe's sort of an outliner.
Well, you
outlier,
got
but
a lot
still
of nerve.
fun.
It's definitely not
But
about
then
my
he
wife,
throws in
so.
"You Got a Lot of Nerve," which is like this badass breakup song. it's like a slap in the face. Like so finding a spot for that song was tough. That like in organizing the tracks.
That's Jim's job.
But again, you need those. You got to have
Yeah.
that balance.
But
And
it
you
just
gotta have-
completely
I
comes out of
mean,
left field on that one.
I mean, it's boring again if you're just getting love songs on an album. But you need that. It's not all lovey-dovey all the time.
Right.
That's where Gordon Lightfoot is one of the guys I always loved because his music was. He made some great love songs, but he talked about some pretty, breaking up and cheating,
Right.
and it was real, man. But
Right.
he had a good mix of stuff on his albums, which
I'm singing Gordon
I-
Lightfoot in the back.
I know.
Please do.
I'd start playing that song, but then we'd have to pay for it.
I'm not even singing it. I'm just saying.
I think the only song I know is the Wreck of the Edmund. That was Gordon Lightfoot.
oh yeah, yep.
The Wreck of the Edmund. I have it actually on my phone. It is in my odd playlist of
I'm
things
so
that I
sorry.
have. It's a good song. I like it.
I play it when I go across the Mackinac Bridge. That's like that song I have to play for some reason.
But,
Yeah.
what, but honestly, we've talked about this before, Brendan. But when we write, we don't write together. We've always written separately. And
No, we don't even record together these days.
No, and
So it's
we'll
still the
bring
same.
things
I mean,
in.
it's-
Although we'll bring in for pieces. Like I'll have Donnie do leads for it. I'll throw the track out and he'll do leads for it, or he'll throw the song out and I'll do harmonies for him.
Mhm.
There's occasional songs where I'll sing it because he just feels like his voice isn't where it wants to be on that song. But for the most part, like the songs that Donnie wrote are Donnie's songs, and the songs that I wrote are my
Right.
songs. But 5 albums in, they're our songs. It's been a journey, trying to find what
feel-
our voice is.
I feel like 5 albums in, each album we write, I feel like the thing that gets the strongest is our writing ability. I think we're better writers now than we were, and probably better composers as well than we were, on album 1. So
Is it different for
Definitely
you?
best of album
Because
one.
Donnie, for you writing Jim's voice that it's going to be, does that even come into play at all, or you're not even worried about that?
well, Jim writes normally what Jim writes he sings, and what I write I sing.
Okay.
There's an occasion where I'll write a song and I'm just like, my voice isn't right for this, and then I'll come in with leads after he'll finish everything.
Mhm.
He'll have the arrangement exactly the way he wants it. I'll listen to it, and honestly, I hit record and put on I'll do 4 or 5 tracks of just noodling around, figure out where I want to be, and then record it.
But part of that too,
So-
Brendan, is that not all the songs do we play out. So sometimes the song is just it's for the album. It's
Right.
it's
Right.
for people to listen to, but it's not something you're going to hear live.
Mhm.
Part of that is because we play a lot of bars and a lot of places where people want
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of upbeat pieces.
Yeah.
So
Well-
like ballads and things like that. We're not really going to play those
Right.
out, but we enjoyed recording those. But that allows that voice of whoever wrote the song to come out.
Nice.
We've been doing this for long enough now too, to where I think we pretty much know what each other is looking for in a song.
Right.
So.
Right.
So I gotta ask.
They've
this
been
question.
married long enough.
Pretty
so
much.
I'm a big hair band. Love big hair music.
As says the no hair
And
guy.
I know, right?
And
Welcome.
right, they all had that one ballad. They all had a ballad. They sang it every con. Do you guys have it? Do you have
I
that
think,
ballad?
I think we
ballad?
do have the power ballad on
Power
this,
ballad,
this
yes.
album.
Yeah. Which one are you thinking of?
Which one are you thinking of? What are you thinking?
That one I wrote.
As they
That one
gaze
song
into
that-
each
that
other's
one
eyes
song.
here at the table.
That one.
Hold on, let me get my phone.
Yeah, you can't even remember the names of the songs.
I'm a little discouraged if
We
y'all
won't
don't
be
remember
playing
the name
that
of the
one
song.
live.
We do like a song a year or an album a year, and we can't remember half the songs on them. But that's funny. While Donnie's looking this up, there are songs that you so totally forget about, and I've been doing that lately.
By your side.
Oh, By Your Side.
Yeah.
Which is a good one. But there are songs that you do kind of forget about, and then when you're sitting at home and you're practicing, and you're like, oh my God, remember that song?
Wow. Sorry, there's a lot of bass coming through if you guys hear that.
I feel it.
But
Dang.
you remember, and then you'll play it, and I'll totally forget how I played it. Like when I recorded the song 3 years ago, because I've never played it again, and it's kind of fun. I mean, there's some that you sort of rediscover, which is fun. But I do think that we've got a couple that are probably in that wheelhouse of the power ballad. I'm sorry, I'm being distracted by Joan Jett.
Yeah, some people say.
No, that's Def Leppard.
Leppard.
Oh, is that Def Leppard?
That's why I was laughing. I'm like, they must have heard my big hair comment because suddenly Def Leppard's playing inside.
Now, Jim and the wives and I went and saw Def Leppard last year.
Jordan did too. You guys weren't you
Saw
at the same show?
They were
I
fantastic.
saw them 2 years in a row. They were great both times.
I think I'm going to see him again this year.
He somehow has his teenage daughter listening to the same music he does, which is odd.
Well, Donnie and I have to decide because I
Yep,
got
she
tickets
loves it.
already for Sticks and REO Speedwagon.
Oh, nice.
Who were the
I don't have to decide.
Well, they
I've
were
already
the-
seen REO Speedwagon.
They were
I'm
the
good.
sandwich acts for Def Leppard both the last 2 years. And but then I found out that Bob Schneider is playing.
Yes, Bob Schneider's
This same
back
night,
at
I
the
already have
Rathskeller.
my $20 Groupon ticket, so I may go with Donnie down to go see.
And we
Bob.
we saw him last summer at the Rathskeller, and oh my God,
It
what
was
a
amazing.
killer show!
If you get a chance to go see something, Bob Schneider at the Rathskeller is a fantastic concert.
All right.
Very
Nice.
cool.
Hey, beer time.
Beer time.
Beer time. Another beer. Second sample.
Before this one is it's convenient distraction. Hey, that kind of segued
Nice
in maybe a
segue.
little bit. I distracted everybody, and it was rather convenient because it's beer time. This is a vanilla and coffee from Colombia and some Madagascar bourbon vanilla beans. Not barrel aged, but bourbon vanilla beans on it. And why is it? Oh, Oso Brewing out of Wisconsin.
Oh, it's a similar bottle. It's a big.
It's a
giant
porter.
bottle.
Yeah, it's American porter.
I was about to go beer nerd on that, and I let it go this time.
Go for it.
So, in other words, it wasn't bourbon barrel aged. They soaked the vanilla beans in the
Right,
bourbon,
and- yeah.
which
And-
you have to soak vanilla beans in some kind of alcohol before you put them in beer anyway to sterilize them.
And not kill people. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad I'm not
I didn't
dying
know that.
tonight.
Know that.
I mean, I like your podcast and all, but I don't want to die.
So vanilla beans are lethal.
Well, yeah. Well, no. There's something.
No, there's a bacteria that grows
yeah.
on them, and you have to soak them in an alcohol before you put them into fermentation. Otherwise, they can infect the beer and sour it.
Mhm.
So they'll soak it in alcohol for 24 hours at least, any kind of alcohol,
Yeah.
before they put them in. Normally, it's like
But it's-
vodka or rum,
Yeah,
but,
but this is the real vanilla beans too, because a lot of times, when you're getting what you think is vanilla flavor, or the little liquid,
Usually-
that's
yeah.
not real.
Yeah.
It's kind of like most of the cinnamon we use is not real cinnamon. It's off of some other tree that is what we all come to call cinnamon nowadays.
It's more bourbon.
Really?
Yeah, much more bourbony,
Yeah.
and it's a porter too. It
But
mine tastes a little more stout than the
Well,
stout
That's what I was
did.
gonna say.
Is
I
it-
get.
Is
yeah.
it weird that to me it tastes similar to the previous beer that we had? I mean, it's
no, it's a
No.
similar style.
No, it's a porter. But porter should be a little lighter usually than a stout. But because of the bourbon,
This
actual
one has
bourbon
this
beans
one's a
in
bit
it.
tangier though.
It's got a
Yeah.
little bit of an
Well, that's
alcohol
that
burn to
bourbon,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah,
It is the bourbon. They must soak those for more than 24
I don't
hours.
know,
I'm thinking on that one.
it's almost citrusy, like the.
it. Yeah. My
it's-
guess is when they soak these beans, they don't drain them. They just take the whole thing and dump it
it in,
right
yeah.
on in together.
Okay, so here's why it's a lot sweeter and why you're getting more of that. This is a 10% ABV.
Oh, so Donnie Ubering home.
Possibly.
You know what though? I do like when we come here because we get to taste these beers in small batches.
Yeah.
Which these heavier beers are always rough. I don't know if I could
Yeah, I
drink a
couldn't.
whole
No,
one
a
of
lot
them,
of
but
you
it's
can't
so
even do
nice
it,
to
you
drink
know,
a
or,
little bit.
or one pint after dinner or something.
Maybe
after
even
steak,
if even
and
a
then-
pint, you're looking for usually a smaller glass. on
Yeah,
these.
like
Well, a snifter.
And as you get closer to 10, we've talked about it a lot, it gets to that sweetness where it's just not pleasant anymore even.
If it was the dead of winter and it was freezing cold, I could drink a pint of this.
Yeah.
But while we're sitting outside in 80-degree weather,
Yeah.
it's not
No,
going
it's-
to work for me.
no, it's not
I
a
love it.
refreshing
It's
beer.
really good, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's not a palate cleansing, refreshing. Ooh, this makes
Yeah.
me feel
So
great
it's
beer.
a Christmas beer.
Yes.
It would be a Christmas
be
beer.
Much, yeah.
Absolutely.
In a moose glass.
Yeah, that other
Fragile.
one we had was a 8.5, so you can definitely taste, and that's why this one has a thicker mouthfeel to it. And it tastes more like a stout in my mind. So
A thicker mouth.
yeah, I know. Go for it.
That's
I
what
hear
she
that
said.
a lot. There you go.
That's what she said.
I hear that.
no
I do hear
comment.
that a lot.
We use the term
Jim-
mouthfeel way too much.
Trust me. The only reason I said it was because Jim was going to if I didn't. So
I think
we-
it's a good beer, though.
we have this running joke where, we try to beat each other to the punch on that's what she
You
said.
finish each other's sentences.
That's what she said.
Well, I know we gotta get Jim out of here soon, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've
but
gotta-
we just want to talk about just real quick. The album's coming out. You guys don't have a date yet, right?
Yeah, no,
No,
we do.
Oh, you do have a date.
Oh.
Okay.
June
Look.
30th, right here
Okay.
at Alley's Ale House, is
Nice.
our album release.
Nice.
We're going to have another artist on the bill.
Mhm.
So somebody's
Possibly.
gonna- yeah, maybe.
Possibly.
What day of the week is that? Is
It's
that
a Friday night.
okay?
it's-
So that's for the is that for the Imagine series?
Friday night they've been doing their
The new-
original artist
yeah, the
series.
new, from,
they kicked that off with Coup d'etat and 800
800
Pound
Pound
Gorilla.
Gorilla.
Studio Live and Alley's doing the Imagine series. I
And
think is
we
what it's
are
called.
on that. We are on that rotation. So
Nice.
we are June 30th.
Awesome.
Right here at Alley's Ale House, right here on the stage. So we're excited to play.
You know, they initially they kicked that off. I think it was last weekend. But really, you guys really kicked it off because you guys were one of the first original Friday night music bands to play up here. So
Yeah.
We had a great time. You know, it's fun to play here. You know, Nick Wengler does such a great job with the sound.
Amazing
here.
job, yeah.
And
Go above and beyond. You see his spread of equipment, and all that. You're just like, geez.
well, and if you listen very carefully, even to this podcast, you can hear the School of Rock, the sound coming even to the outside.
Mhm.
It gives us a chance to turn the volume up and just
Right.
play
Yeah.
our hearts out.
Yeah.
Which is awesome because we don't get that opportunity always.
Although honestly, when you're up there, you don't care about what the sound is out here because you can't tell anyway.
Right,
So-
you're all on the monitor and everything. So, but
that's why
Nick,
I say
Nick-
have a guy like Nick to worry.
he
about
does a
that
great
stuff,
job
'cause
because
he does.
usually the monitor sounds just like out there, and he keeps it nice and balanced. So
You
he
know
does
what's
a great
awesome
job up
about
here.
it is that there's a great north side venue
Yeah.
for
Now,
original
yes.
music,
Finally, yeah.
and it's been a struggle. I mean, we've played up here on the north side now for 5 years, and it's still a combination of covers and originals for us. And
we have to whore ourselves out to play.
Yeah.
But that's the typical thing for a lot of bands is they have to play a lot of covers too, just to A, fill the time, and B,
Appease the crowd.
right. But the more and more people get used to hearing original music, I think the more you're going to expect that.
Yeah.
I was just at visiting colleges with my son. We were in Nashville visiting Vanderbilt. And to think about, right, he's super smart. But to see that, I mean, to see the Nashville music scene or the Austin music scene, I mean, why can't it happen
Exactly.
in Indianapolis?
It can. It should, yeah.
I mean,
or northern Indiana. I mean,
but
it's-
there are fantastic bands
Yeah.
just about everywhere you go.
Yeah.
They just need a place to play. And they
Yeah.
need an audience that gets what original music is all about.
Right.
And it really is just
Well, I
sort
mean,
of
it's
hammering
real-
it on them
Yeah,
all the
it's-
time.
It's really about a culture change.
Mhm.
So I think you're seeing it. It's just slow going.
It's slowing, yeah, but you're starting to see it. I mean, I always talk about going to Seattle. It's so great. You pick up a stranger, and everybody does it to see
what-
what bands are playing there that week, and you might go there. And we're at the crossroads of America. There should be more. We should have a nice magazine that is highlighting that stuff going on. But we need to build the scene a little bit more. But it's getting there. But it's building. But it's
again, the
did you just say
reality
go
is-
to Seattle and pick up a stranger?
yes, I did.
That's what I heard too. I just didn't go there. I let it go.
And also
Sorry,
a box of
stranger
beer.
is their.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Seattle grows the best strangers.
They do. Yeah, nobody in Seattle is from Seattle, and that's the great. I love Seattle because that's one of the reasons.
Well, that's because
Nobody-
you picked them all up. And
Seattle loves you too, Brendan.
None of Jim's neighbors are from here, but they all live here now.
Right. Right.
nice.
So
Yes,
along
that was
with
very
that,
deep.
I think you guys are right. And as people get out there and they get used to the local artists and the local music and the originals, it's the same thing with the craft beer. It kind of goes hand in hand. People are getting away from macros. They're drinking more craft beer. They're
Right.
listening to more local music. We're seeing that more and more, and that's why all the breweries now are playing mostly original artists or bringing mostly original artists in, and it's a great thing. I love it.
Well, it's about identity. It's what
Well-
makes you you. And so our area here has an identity. There are fantastic bands within a 10, 15, 20-mile radius right here. Now we got to get people out to see them.
Right.
Just like the beer. It's right here. We need to drink it. We need to listen and make what we are. And that has to happen everywhere. That has to happen all around the country.
Well, if I could analogize for a minute with a completely different topic.
No, you may not.
And Jordan, don't you have to leave now?
Yes, I do.
Jordan can appreciate this. So I just picked up a Springfield XDS, which is a handgun.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking for a good inside the belt Kydex holster.
And a stranger.
And a stranger. And from Seattle. But I literally wanted them to be born in Seattle. No, so I was looking for a good Kydex holster, which is like a hard plastic, right? It's form fitted to the gun. And I started looking, I looked on Amazon, I looked on everywhere on the internet, and I finally looked on eBay. There are thousands of guys in their garage doing these, just local, and they're doing really fantastic work. I think people are slowly starting to get back to, instead of just, the idea of buy local, I think everybody's been saying that but not really doing it. I think we're finally to the point to where people are saying, hey, we've got some real talent right where we live.
Right.
Let's invest in that,
Yeah, drink local, eat local, listen
Shoot
to local
local.
music, shoot local, do whatever you got to do. But yeah, it's
But pick up strangers.
And also pick
No
up
local
strangers.
strangers.
I mean, that's the whole purpose of the gun, was so I could pick up strangers.
And then they can't say
So
no.
what I need to do is I need to build a bar in Fishers where I serve craft beer. I do local artists
And
only.
3D print gun cases.
3D print gun cases, and you can pick up strangers. We have a stranger pickup night.
Yes. Just
So
a
I think
separate
they
side
call-
area.
Can we call it stranger danger?
There you go.
Don't they call that, isn't that like the Plenty of Fish or the what are the other dating website nights at the bars have?
Hey, I met my wife on Plenty of Fish. True story.
Awkward.
Good
I
job.
met
Way to
mine on,
offend him.
So far, so good.
I've been on farmers.
She hasn't killed me yet.
Brendan's still waiting for his farmers.com wife.
I don't know what's going on.
Now,
Wait,
I
does
keep
Mi-
getting,
wait.
They keep sending me big burly men. I don't know.
Wait,
what
does
the hell's
does
going
Mickey know you're on?
Well, she's not on there.
Did
now
you
in
put
your
in the
defense,
proper email?
my wife did ask me the other day for the combination of the gun safe, and I said no.
The same reason you don't teach them how to shoot straight.
It would take me many, many years to teach Amy how to shoot straight.
All right, guys, let's gonna wrap this up. Been beautiful having you guys on tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, we do
Look
appreciate
forward to
we've
it.
You know what?
appreciated
Outdoors was not bad.
It wasn't
No,
bad.
it's a gorgeous night.
Hopefully, I don't know how much the background noise will come through, on there, and
I
you
think
you
it
heard the
sounds
beeping
more
and all that.
exciting this way.
It was
Yes.
authentic. It was very
It's definitely authentic.
Yeah, thanks guys for coming on. Absolutely, and our two
Thanks for having
silent
us.
guests. Thank you for being here. Don't worry about saying anything.
We'll get him to talk
But,
next time.
Yeah.
We'll come back to Alley's on June 30th to see the squirrels on that Friday night, and we'll
Absolutely.
be here. You know that. So
Come out every Friday for the Imagine series
Yes.
over here at Alley's.
absolutely.
Always good stuff coming up. I think, yeah. What else we got? I think we got
about
we got other things coming up, but you'll hear it on the show, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right. Later.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Thank you.
Let me tell you a little story about a kid named Joe. He was born in South Carolina, spent time with the French and Creole. Well, one day little Joe ate some shrimp from the bay, and he ain't never been the same since that fine day. Oh, Joe. Oh, little Joe had a dream one day to open up his own little seafood place. Well, it was gonna be a calabash, and old Joe's fresh shrimp would kick some serious ass. But the best laid plans sometimes go astray. Little Joe met a girl and he moved away to the Midwest, world famous for its fine selection of frozen seafood trucked in from thousands of miles. Nothing but the best. One day old Joe observed his surroundings, and he realized he'd made a grave mistake. He was working as a bean counter in the middle of the corn state. Well, old Joe's little dream had swam away faster than a flounder in the Carolina Bay. Poor Joe. Well, old Joe, he just couldn't let this go, you know. I mean, life is short, shrimp are spawning. So Joe sold the vet and the house and dog, and his wife thought Joe had lost it, but she loved him, so she went along. Now old Joe owns a shack in the Carolines, grilling shrimp for the folks on the East Coast line. He's just as happy as he can be, but his waist size jumped to a 43. Oh Joe, they call him Calabash Joe. He got a million different shrimp recipes for show. Calabash Joe, a best shrimp on the whole East Coast. Oh, Calabash Joe. Oh, Calabash Joe. Calabash Joe.